So keep in mind, yeah, my project is called Visio, just vision without the N. It's an AI software that allows ALS patients who normally can't talk, communicate, and then respond to spoken questions. So first, what is ALS and what's the issue? Well, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis is a disease that affects over 300,000 people globally. In fact, over 95% of ALS patients will eventually become unable to speak, and then the solution is a $12,000 plus, which is the cost of the average eye communication assistance device. In a healthy person, the brain communicates via nerve pathways to muscles that allow patients to speak. On the other hand, in an ALS patient, those nerve pathways are severed, meaning the brain has no access to the muscles, and thus patients are paralyzed and unable to speak, eat, or move. And traditional solutions are expensive, outdated, and out of reach. That's why I created Visio. So here's a really simple overview. The system takes in a question, in this case, how are you feeling today? And the AI is going to generate four possible responses. In this case, it's good, not great, tired, or better than yesterday. The user simply has to look on the screen which response they want to select, and then the AI is going to speak that response out loud. Now, Visio is the first in the industry to incorporate all of these five features, but I'm only going to focus on three. The first feature I want to focus on is going to be the AI eye tracking. I ensembled four machine learning models to train on 16 facial landmarks. It achieves 94% accuracy. I also include personalized patient responses. And what that means is basically the system is going to try and guess what you want to respond with based on your past answers to past questions. And lastly, I have autonomous monitoring, which means it's going to increase the patient independence and it's going to automatically notify the caregiver if the patient has a response which requires assistance. And more on that on the next slide. So here are all of my novel systems. So starting off, the smart response generation system. The system takes in a question, it's going to get converted into vectors, and then there's going to be two pathways in which a response is going to be generated. The first pathway is it's going to filter for past responses that are super similar. So for example, in the real world, what that'll look like is if the question is, what do you want to eat for dinner today? And in the past, the user has either responded with either fried chicken or noodles, the system is going to make sure that fried chicken and noodles are always going to be two of the possible answers that are going to be displayed on the screen. The other way a response can be generated is via a fine-tuned large language model. And then at the very end, it's going to filter for the top four responses for the most diverse responses using MMR. As I said earlier, I also include four machine learning models, LR, RF, GBR, and SVR, and I ensemble them together to create a high accuracy score. I also have a response analysis alert system where it takes in a patient response. For example, no, I don't need water. It's going to classify it and ask the LLM, does this response require urgent assistance? And then if it does require assistance, it's going to notify the caregiver. So as you can see using this chart, Visio is faster, cheaper, and has more features than any other software on the market. And keep in mind, this speech-brain computer interface is currently not on the market and you can't buy it because it's super invasive. So take a look at these graphs. As you can see, Visio achieves an 80% increase in words per minute compared to the leading market shareholder, which is a company called Tobii Dynavox, while maintaining 95% accuracy. Over five calibration sequences, the combined ensemble accuracy score is going to be around 94.5. And as you can see, it only takes 6 seconds to answer a question compared to 45 to 100 seconds for any other possible software or hardware on the market. So at the end of the day, over 300,000 patients are going to have access to a voice. Visio is 80% faster, 1,000% cheaper, and four times as feature rich compared to Tobii Dynavox. And according to Dr. Daniel Rubin of Massachusetts General Hospital Department of Neuro, patients are going to have more independence with this software. So here's a demo. How are you doing today?
I'm feeling a bit anxious today.
Yeah, so as you can see, I spoke a question. It generated four possible responses, and then the four circles that you see are each individual machine learning model well, while it's tracking my eye as I move to whichever part of the screen I want to select. That's it.
Cool. All right. What's up, Visio? This is Brian. I really liked your idea. I think it's awesome.